Jeremy, I know that with Leyline, you guys are incentivizing uh, basically charitable actions. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
How?
correct. Yeah, so to get to the heart of what we're building, we're establishing we're calling a proof of good protocol, and the platform that we've set up is really to connect with any social impact organization, whether you're a charity or a nonprofit or NGO, academic institution. And so what we want to do is have these real world validators of people that are volunteering and contributing, whether it's donating money or time or blood or clothes, any amount of acts of good. We want to have this network of trusted third parties that can validate that, and then build a community and a DAO that holds that set of trusted third parties accountable
Who are these third
to
parties? Can you elaborate a little bit about who they might be?
yeah. So, one of our first partners when we first prototyped was actually UC Berkeley with a project called Boink, which is a distributed computing, research network. And so we were able to build an API to connect and validate, okay, how many hours of computing power people are donating to cancer research and climate change research and COVID research. So we ended up building this validation method where users were passively doing good and earning as a result. And then we realized and learned, oh, wow, there's a whole story to tell here about people and the good that they do. And this to me is like the solve for, or not solve, but rather an additional critical value to put into these NFTs, where anybody can generate art these days and music these days. In fact, AI is already doing that for us. So one of the things that we're going to find meaning and value in purchasing NFTs is actually the human story behind it. What kind of impact have you had? And whether or not the NFTs have this transparency and traceability to a real world positive impact. I think one of the challenges we have is we're kind of escaping into this digital metaverse. And then in doing so, we forget about the problems of reality and we lose empathy and priority on like, oh my God, we got to stop the climate change crisis, guys. What we want to do is like, we don't want to, take this binary approach. We should actually integrate them together so that incentive model in the metaverse is still flowing back to the real world and actually making a big impact. And in fact, giving back is like probably the number one thing for happiness. So I think like human, well-being and value needs to be intrinsically tied into this NFT ecosystem that's exploding.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of the idea that the key to happiness is really a combination of three things. It's personal health, wealth, and community, the interactions that we have with each other and how we take care of each other. It's interesting. I feel like what Koii is working on ties in very closely to what Leyline is doing with the